Someone asking story time for Serge.
Oh.
Serge mentioned a while ago that he lost his left hand and thus could no longer play guitar. How did that happen? Is this on par with the story about him cutting off the ear accidentally?
So I kind of did lose my left hand. I've got a weird medical thing where I've got lumps. I've got like benign cysts all over my body, which is not great. And I had one that was growing on the nerve that controls these three fingers.
Oh, wow.
And also wedged between both my knuckles. So, and also attached to a vein. So basically every time my heart beat, it would aggravate the nerve and my hand would just like constantly ache all of the time.
Oh, wow.
And it went undiagnosed for like 8 years. I went to a nerve specialist and they're like, oh yeah, all your nerves are fine, because they test it and my hand would zap and all that neat stuff. And they're like, oh, don't know what's wrong with it. Until finally I saw another second nerve specialist who's like, oh, your nerve is fine. Maybe there's something growing on it.
Could I see a better nerve specialist?
Well, I was
please?
like, well, wait, what? Yeah, somebody just thought about that. So I ended up getting some type of scanny thingy, is the technical term, where they found that I had a growth on the, I believe it's called the median nerve, that was 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1.5 centimeters inside of my hand.
That's big.
Yeah, so I had an operation to remove it, and the plastic surgeon did a really interesting job. Kathleen can see that there. Where they actually hid a lot of the scar tissue along the natural line, so the scar actually goes all the way down to there.
Wow, because you can see that one, but
Yeah, I guess should I go to Kevin?
Yeah, maybe
Do
go
people
to Kevin.
care?
You
Sure.
must be a real test for palm readers.
Yeah. So where do we have Kevin's corner.
There he is, you're there.
So we'll go over this way a little bit. So yeah, the scar goes all the way down right to there, and then it bends around and it goes to there.
Oh, move your hand back towards you a bit, Serge.
There you
There,
go.
perfect.
Yeah, so the scar goes all the way down to there, up around the corner, down to here in the hand, up to this angle, and around to the side. It was a great big H, which I can only assume stands for hand, in case I ever got confused as to what it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Is this my foot? Nope.
No, oh, it's my hand. Got there. Yeah, so there's like 25 to 30 stitches to put it all back together.
Wow.
And then yeah, I used to play guitar. I used to do a bunch of like circus stuff and juggly stuff, and I had to stop all of that. So I like, it's interesting.
So even though they removed the thing, it's still you don't have the same kind
Yeah, so my right hand, I can do this. My left hand, it starts to spasm if I try and bring it in.
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting because in many ways I lost my left hand, but that was 11 or 12 years ago. So I've just shifted my life. You find a new normal after you have a big injury like that. Yeah, so like I don't play guitar, I don't do juggling. I can't play console games a lot because holding and like a lot of games use the left and the right triggers. That's something that my hand can't do, but I can use a keyboard fine.
Okay.
Did you run into any problems playing Desert Bus?
Desert Bus was fine because again
It's
you're not
thumb,
using the top triggers there. Yeah.
The,
So it's interesting. So yeah, I lost my left hand, and then people are like, haha, and I'm like, oh, like kind of actually really.
I talked yesterday about that. I had the thing on my back of my finger from my terrible Wii-related injury, where that partially severed the tendon in the back of my hand on my right hand, and it healed up, but there's scar tissue in there that makes the tendon connected more to the skin than it should be, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the only downside or end result that I've seen is that like this finger I can sort of go down like that, and this one these two fingers are closer together.
Yeah.
So basically, if I can't really flip people off with my left hand anymore, which really isn't that big a problem.
So it's
luckily
funny,
it doesn't come up that often.
Paul, we've got a lot of people in chat asking how a Wii severed a tendon, and it wasn't necessarily the Wii itself.
I talked about this before. I was playing. The short version is we were playing Wii tennis on launch day for the Wii, and I did an overhead smash and smashed a light fixture above and it was one of these like hanging glass light fixtures, and the jagged glass partially severed the tendon in my middle finger and one of my other fingers.
It was, I remember that because it was like, oh, Paul cut his hand. Oh my God, Paul really cut his hand.
There's
blood everywhere. And basically I was like, let's just go right to the hospital right now. They saw you very quickly, all things considered.
And, I want to shout out to Ye for Canadian medical system. Because it was that kind of an injury where if there was a question about whether I could afford it, it would be like, oh, maybe I could just like put pressure on it and
maybe I could make do.
Yeah, because it sort of looked like just a cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and like my hand, and then I may have lost a lot of the use of my right hand.
Yeah.
Which obviously would have really sucked.
So about that, I removed the tumor in my hand, and they replaced it with scar tissue in my hand. So I'd say it's better than it was, but it will never be what a normal hand is. So yeah, scar tissue can last for a while too. During recovery, which was really interesting, was because the damage was on the nerve itself. You can't really like do physio for a nerve. You can't really take like a muscle relaxant for a nerve. So their theory was to give me so many T3s I just wouldn't care about it. And I actually had.
Was that a good theory?
I think it was actually pretty bad. I've got weird stories of like waking up in Beacon Hill Park in a tree surrounded by ducks. I have no idea how I got there. You're just like walking away from my friends and then being like, oh, he'll be fine. I just never come back. I'm like,
are you saying you got hopped up on T3s and then became king of the ducks?
That's what I'm hearing.
At some point?
Pharmacist Judge will not be pleased with this, but I got a prescription for T3s that was just the infinity symbol. The pharmacist would be like, really? And like, look,
Wow.
Yeah.